Hey,
Mm.
hey. Solid bedroom, solid
Yeah,
Bob.
yeah, yeah. Let's go, JR. What are you saying?
Yeah, welcome everyone again to another episode of the JR&Skipps podcast, where we bring a rundown of everything that has happened over the week, give you our hot takes on social topics and, whatever just catches our fancy. Today I'm here with my compadre, Skips and Franchi. What you're saying, man?
Yeah,
Man,
we
Yeah.
all
chill,
good. We
chill.
all good, man. Thanks for the intro, JR.
Yeah, and today, so we're gonna do a quick deep dive on Asake's new album, Money, his first project under the Giran Republic, which is his own personal project. And we're gonna tell you what we think he did well, what we think he didn't do well, and just give you our hot takes on the album. So yeah, let's go.
Cool, cool. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna jump in, JR. In terms of Ashake's album, Money, I have to say this is something different in terms of what we're used to from Ashake. It has the standard Yoruba vibe, trying to give you good music. But if I want to compare this to, albums like Work of Art, Lungu Boy, I think there's a gradual progression in terms of the Ashake we know and the Ashake that now we have to learn to know. Either way, I think the album is still like a solid body of work. In terms of the songs that I've heard, I think I have some solid favorites, like what we started the
Right?
show with, Forgiveness. So, Forgiveness is a bop and is one of those tracks that is probably gonna top the charts. I expect it to go to the top of the charts. So I'm just gonna send it back to you, JR. What
Yeah.
tracks are you really feeling right now in terms of your listening to the album?
Firstly, I would say I don't think it's fair to compare it to his previous work because that way, it's
Yes.
probably going to pale in comparison to Mr. Money with the Vibes or Work of Art. I do feel it's a stronger project than Lungu Boy. If you're asking me, I think Lungu Boy is
Oh,
his
okay.
fourth ranking on my list for Ashake, but Money is not bad to me. Like I know you say it's not what we are used to for Ashake, but to be fair, it's in tune. Some of the songs on the album is in tune with the feel good vibe with Ashake. Like remember, I have a song like Forgiveness. It doesn't sound sonically the same, but it's in the same ballpark, right? That feel good music that you can just bump to. Especially when you're a bit late. You just get the party going. So I would say it's a strong body of work. I agree with you on that. It's a strong body of work as well. But like I mentioned, I don't think if we compare it with his first two projects, which I think are just masterpieces, we're not doing any favors to Asake. I mean, any artist will struggle to top Mr. Money with the Vibes or Work of Art. So I think we should discuss it separately from those two projects. But yeah, I think for a first release under his own Giran Republic, I think it's a solid debut. I know we've seen some criticism about the music online, but I think most people don't like to take time to digest new music. They want it to hit on the first listen and create the memories they have, but it doesn't work that way, right? Like you really need to give the music a chance, live your life to it, and just let the music create those memories for you. So I think it's a good body of work, and yeah, I think it's a strong showing for his first project under Giron Republic.
Yeah, I have to agree with that in terms of his first project on that Giran Republic because it's not easy really to leave a big label like YBNL, start your own stuff, basically become your own man and then still able to live to the same standard. So
Exactly.
Franch, I'm going to throw this question to you though. I guess we've all known Ashake from the days of Mr. Kovat, Lungu Boy. Do you think he's living up to the hype in terms of the performance under YBNL to now being his own man on that Giran Republic? What are you saying?
Um, First of all, being your own man is a different journey entirely, and you have to give him credit where it's due. Like he's got a new project. I haven't really bumped it, like, but hearing a few tracks that you just played off, like off the vibe, it looks like sweet, solid music. Has a bit of jazz effect to it as well. I'm keen
Mhm.
to really deep dive into it and digest the music. As we all know, I think he got his first Grammy nomination last year.
Of
Yeah,
Lumber
so
Boy, yep. The
yeah,
track with
so
Whiskey. Exactly.
so I don't know. I'll just have to have a listen to this to see whether this could take him back to another nomination or maybe the Grammy. Who knows? But yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I can say kudos to him for the growth. Doing your own thing, your own self, just shows the growth as a man. Like everyone found a way, even from the hip hop artists. As an artist, I think it's fair to say you need to also look to grow, progress, just like the way Olamide did. as well. Like, back in high school, Olamide was, that guy who was always rapping. All of a sudden, man, look how many artists have come out from
He's a
his label.
boss now.
Shows some
Yeah, so
immense
many
growth
people
on
know
him.
Olamide now as the label boss. You're right, and not the
Yeah.
artist. You're right. Yeah, I agree. Speaking about songs that could probably propel him to another Grammy nomination or possibly a Grammy award, what do you guys think about the tracks? What are your standout tracks, and what do you think hits, and what do you think we will not hit? So yeah, I'll trade to you, Skip. So what are your favorites of the
Um,
time?
So far, the only disappointing thing I have to say is the tracks that sort of connected to me right away are tracks that I'd heard, like a while ago in terms of Why Love, Badman Gangster. But then I still have to say forgiveness is just gonna be that
But
bop that helps
I
everyone.
mean that's what the
Yeah,
single is supposed to do, right? The single is supposed to resonate with
prepare
you.
you for the album, yeah?
Exactly. So why love
Exactly.
and
So yeah, so I guess it makes sense why on the first listen, Why Love and Badman Gangsta immediately connect because those are tracks that I'm already used to. But I have to say, Gratitude is something that I think is going to be a bop. Forgiveness also gives me a vibe that this is going to be like the main tune of Ashake's album outside of the tracks that we've already listened to. And one
okay.
of the tracks that sort of got me on the vibe also is I think Wah. The
Wow.
Y is a vibe. I've been bumping it in the car, and I have to say, it's giving me that Ashake vibe. And I think as fans, we need to try and sort of adapt with the artist because when Ashake stepped into the music scene with Mr. Money with the vibe, he was basically singing about his perspective of life at that time. Talking
Exactly.
about someone that's touched serious bands, lived the life, probably spends less time in Nigeria, is touring the world, doing shows everywhere. So his eyes are seeing new things, man. Man's eyes is on another level. So
Bro,
right now,
different level of
diff-
bodies, like yo,
you
see,
get me? Like
like
everything is different, man.
everything
Mine
is
is living
different.
the top-notch life. So for you to even name your album Money, that
Money.
tells you man is touching money. So it's about to sing about money. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna throw it back to you, Gerard.
Yeah.
Though. What tracks are you feeling currently on the album?
I would actually say there are probably just like maybe two songs I really don't feel up the top. I think the Oba song where he tried to sample the Tupac "Do for Love." I think I see the vision they were trying to incorporate the whole hip hop background into it, but I think the instrumental was just fighting itself, and Ashake never really managed to write the beats. Nice,
Okay.
decent song as a standalone, but to your point, I think from tracks probably from the intro to worship with DJ Snake is dope as well. I think that has a video if I'm not wrong. Then I love
DJ
Yeah,
Snake.
I've
gratitude.
seen that.
Yeah, with DJ Snake. Yeah. I think I love gratitude. I love Amen. I love Wa. I love Rora. I think it's one of my top three on the album.
Yeah,
Rora.
you've said that a couple times,
A
bro.
couple
I
of
should
times I
bump
really
that
We,
actually.
we,
yeah.
we need to get Junior and Ashake t-shirt, man. What are you
You
saying?
get me that Mr. JR with the vibes. You get me. Yeah. So I
I
love
did tell
Rora.
you.
To your point, I think two songs that I think have potential of the album is "Forgiveness" to your point, and I think "Money Can Buy Happiness" as well. I think that's another.
That's a bop. Yeah,
That's
I
another
actually
song.
missed that.
When you
Yeah.
listen to it, the way it's mixed and set up, you will see that they are planning. It has like a single type of arrangement. So it sounds like one of those type of tunes that the label will probably want to put some money behind because it has that feel good. Money can buy happiness. Yeah, bye. It's a catchy tune. So.
Probably needs a video. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably get a video. I think they're looking at the numbers now just to see what songs resonate and do numbers and streaming platforms, and they will now decide, what songs to put money behind. My criticism of the album will probably be, and criticism is using this term harshly because to your point about fans being attached to a certain version of an artist, in the infamous words of Wale, fans love to see you blow, but they never want to see you pop, right? Like everybody likes to support the journey. Oh, we're all happy for Ashake when we knew he was this kit maker, was this guy has been grinding, and when he finally got his moment on Mr. Money with the vibe, oh, everybody's happy for him. But the moment that artist starts to try to step out of his comfort zone and experiment, oh, fans are like, oh no, 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 give us the same thing. And if you keep giving fans the same thing, what happens with everybody? Eventually get tired of it. So I'm a big, 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 big proponent of artists, trying new things and living up to the term artist, create the ask, you have to be risky, take risk, try it. You might work, you might not work. Your fans might fuck with it, they might not fuck with it. It is what it is. So to that regard, I like the fact that, he's trying to, do different things, but it doesn't have tunes like, Ototo or Inzanza or on a work of art. It doesn't have a lonely at the top type of song. And I think that's what they were trying to do with the Oba song that I said. They were trying, just a feel good, slow tempo song, but I don't think he managed to execute that properly on this album. I think this album, for the bops that are, up tempo, I think he killed it. But if anything, I would say this album is lacking those laid back songs that, Asake is also at his best, when he's just croning over slow tempo
Yeah,
melodies.
like
I don't,
calm
yeah,
tunes,
I
eh?
don't think this album has a lot of that. But if we're talking about Badman Gangster did that perfectly.
True.
The single did well. So I would say the album solid debut performance from Asake. I like the old money aesthetic. I think when he dropped Why Love, I think it was coming with this old military type of vibe, camouflage and everything. But I think the label went back and they tried to change the aesthetic for the album to money, or just show affluence, show chill vibe. And I think I think I
Tough
like.
life.
I think I like this soft life aesthetic compared to the military they were going for before. So yeah, big ups to Ashake. His manager Alexa, she's doing a good job tapping him in with what looks like he's going to go out there. So yeah, solid one for him. I'll rate the album a solid 7.2/10 for me. What about you?
Okay, based on everything we've said, and I think you've touched on very good points. I think it's quite early for me to give it a honest rating, but based on the tracks that I've heard, and at the moment, I think there are about 12 tracks, and I have about 5 to 6 favorites. So I'm probably going to give it a 7.5 with the impression that probably by the time I actually
Very, very,
digest
very,
the
very generous
album,
lecturer.
nah, I have to be
7.5.
honest, bro. Forgiveness to me is already a seven. In terms of, you get,
Really,
because,
really like that
bro,
tune.
I'm just everyday forgiveness. So
Yeah, it's catchy,
the
for
song
sure.
got me vibing. So for that alone, and Badman Gangsta Why Love is already a seven album. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 with the belief that as time goes by, and
Of course.
I get more used to the album and to the tracks and understand the idea behind the creative art that he was trying to produce, he might just end up becoming an 8 because I think his previous album, excluding Longo Boy, they were 10 over
Thanks.
10 albums, man. I'm just gonna leave this as an 8. So, French, what are you saying in terms of rating? How would you rate this Money album?
Like I said, man, I need to dissect it, but I'll keep it undefined for now. But I'm gonna ask you a little question because he's listening to it a lot, yeah. Does he
Yep.
have that heavy influence of piano or South African house music
I won't
like the other
say
albums?
exactly. I was gonna say in tune to Ashake, most of the up tempo songs have that feel, right? So if you listen to Gratitude or the Rora or Amen, it has that tempo with jazz, flute, a little bit of Fuji influence. But yeah, in tune with his first two projects, especially, it has that uppity house feel. I wouldn't say I'm a piano because I'm a piano is like a different version. Yeah, it's not fast tempo I'm a piano-ish, but I think it's up tempo house too. So I think Asake remained original to that sound. To your question, yeah, I think
You
he has
you know that sound, that Palazzo sound,
palazzo.
no.
Yeah, it doesn't really have much of it doesn't have much of palazzo, but it has sumba. If that makes any sense, right?
Oh,
The type
first,
of
first, first.
vibe from sumba and palazzo, they are both up tempo tracks, but they are not in the same
Yeah, I
niche.
feel
If
you.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay,
I'll keep it undefined. See you later.
so I guess this has been a vibe, Once again, thanks for joining the JR&Skipps podcast. This has been a fun time talking about Ashake's recent album, Money. So I'm just gonna give it more streams, and please support the boy Ashake. He's done a very good job in terms of putting Afrobeats on the map. So, I
Exactly.
guess tap in.
Tap in, tap in.